the foster failure as a whole, even though we've had several recently, it is a really small percentage of dogs that get adopted from us are within that foster community.
Oh, less than 10%.
Small, yeah.
Less than that.
Yeah.
Probably less than 5%.
The only reason I agreed to the 10% when we first said is because this has been such a crazy week of failures.
Right.
Usually, no, it's not the case.
You know what? Our fosters are starting to foster the fosters.
Yeah.
They need to start recruiting fosters.
Yes. For every foster you recruit, I'll give you a Werther's Original Candy, warm from my pocket. What the hell is that?
Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog.
Oh my dog, hey.
Oh my dog, hello.
It's Kara.
And Holly.
And we're back again. Again, I took your spot.
Eminem.
Again. We're going to have just a little baby toy episode, and we're going to use this as a little bit of a chitter chatter about what it means to foster for Oh My Dog Rescue. Or foster in general.
Yeah. We'll probably send this podcast to new fosters.
Yeah, we're gonna try not to be
so number
too
one,
stupid.
Read the manual.
So first and foremost, we're gonna talk about the whole life cycle of okay, I'm thinking about fostering to what it means to send a dog out the door. But as a part of that, there are a bunch of additional resources that Holly and I have spent a lot of time putting together, and that is that a foster manual, and then also a little guide. So when you get your first application, what do you do?
What do you do?
And we do things a little differently than a lot of rescues.
That's an understatement.
So we'll talk about what that looks like, what you can expect in fostering for us, and let's roll.
And how to not foster fail on all of them.
On all of them. You can every once in a while, it's fine, but not all of them.
Yeah.
So you want to be a foster. What's the first thing you need to do?
Okay, so on our website, omdr.org,
ohmydogrescue.org, or ohmydogrescue.com, or I bought 17.
Care about all of them.
If you type it in anywhere, you're going to find us.
She started doing that, and I was like, okay, cool.
What are you doing?
Calm down, dude.
We
got one.
No.
It's all we need.
I got real jazzled. And it's really worked out well, I think.
It has. You're right. That was a good call. I was just like,
I waited a whole year to get
one.
I waited a whole year to get ohmydogrescue.com, which we don't advertise, but I know that a lot of people will just type in organically.
Yeah.
But somebody else had it, and I found the expiration date. I put it in my calendar.
You're kidding.
I set an alert, and then I went back and checked it, because after the day that it expires, you have 30 to 60 days to renew it still, even after it expires. So I set alarms for every Friday after their domain expired.
Wow.
I got it. It's quite the deal, because there's these domain resellers or whatever, and they'll snatch up a name that they think is desirable, and then they try to resell it to you for thousands of dollars. Oh no, $20 a year, baby.
Okay, so on our website,
however you want to get there,
at the top there is a little drop down called forms, and there is a foster application form. There's also on that drop down you're going to find your surrender form and your adoption application, but that's for everybody else. So if you want to be a foster, that's where you start. Fill out that application, send it to us. We get notified that we have a new foster application. We'll take a look at it. The next thing you're going to want to do is ask to be accepted into the Mutt Mafia.
Yep.
That is our private Facebook group.
Yep.
For volunteers only.
We do not let just everybody in there. I know a lot of people are starting to hear about the Mutt Mafia, and so they're joining it, I think, or trying to join it, I think, because they think that's where they're going to see dogs that are available for adoption.
Right.
But that's not necessarily the case. This is us calling out our fosters who are actively helping us to say, hey, we've got a rescue coming in. So we have to keep it fairly close to the chest, because if we had the general public in there,
it'd be a disaster.
It'd be a disaster. So,
and we do go through it once a quarter, which we probably need to do that again.
Yeah, we need to clean house again.
And clean house. So if you were part of it and you notice that you're not part of it,
it's because you weren't doing anything in there. You were just silently watching.
Not to mince any words, Kara. Take it away. No. if you were, actively doing something for us and you got booted out, please let us know. It was probably an oversight.
Yeah.
But if if you're not actively doing something, we just need to declutter that
Yeah.
group and keep it just for active volunteers. And volunteering is a lot of things. It's fostering, transporting, helping with fundraising, writing grants, writing thank yous. There's a million different ways to volunteer and be part of the Mutt Mafia. It's not just for
And
fosters.
all of those volunteer opportunities are going to continue to grow. For instance, one of our volunteers who started out as a pretty active foster, but is no longer able to foster as much just due to life circumstances, has taken on some administrative roles for us.
Yeah.
And it's been a huge help. So there's always going to be things growing as we grow and needing help. The other thing that's going to happen, though, and even before you make it into the Mutt Mafia, is as soon as I get your foster application and we review it, and if we think you'd be a good fit, you're in our area, all of the things, I will send you a DocuSign.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows you to get a preview of the foster manual that we mentioned, so you can see what all you're going to need to do and what are the ins and outs of fostering. And then also some legal forms just to make sure you understand what you're getting into and the ins and outs of dog rescue. There's risks involved, right?
Yeah,
You could
there's
get
a
bit,
waiver and all of that just to protect everybody, both you and us.
So you'll get that packet of forms to review, and then once you sign it, you get a copy of that, and that'll become kind of your Bible, as well as the resources within the Mutt Mafia page, which are pretty endless as far as people in there alone, just like the people and what they have to say and their knowledge of what we do and their experiences.
Right. So another drop down on our website is foster resources, which is password protected. That password is shared with approved fosters. That's where you're going to find all of everything.
Foster manual. We created a little flow chart of what happens when you get an application. What do you do next?
With including kind of canned responses.
Yeah.
How to respond. Like if it doesn't feel like a good fit, what are some things that you can say? Frequently asked questions and so on and so forth.
Yep. Yeah, so we just want to make it all very easy for you. And Holly and I know very well, as people who struggle to sit down and read something, that it's difficult to read something.
Yeah, no kidding.
But if you really want to get into this and you want to do it right, and you want to avoid yourself the time of having to ask a bunch of questions, we really do have a majority of things outlined within those couple of documents that are in that password protected area, which will be shared once you're approved.
And soon to be added, a link to this podcast.
That's right. Listen, learn,
This is the
read.
Audible version.
Yes, for sure. And so sometimes when people apply to foster, they might not quite understand like what that means and how to prepare your home and your family for what that might look like. So first and foremost, you have to think about what your home is best suited for.
Right. Do you have cats that are not good with dogs?
Are they scared? Do they run?
Are they scared? Do they run? Do you have small children that don't have proper dog etiquette skills?
Is your yard fenced or not? Which, by the way,
not a requirement.
Not a requirement, but for some dogs it might be.
Right.
So we'll be sure to share that. Within that Mutt Mafia page, when we get a dog request in, we share as much information as we know when that dog is incoming. And for you, that might mean if I don't have a fenced yard and I don't have a great way to take a dog out, maybe I'm not going to use my first foster card as a breeder release dog. Maybe I'm going to take an owner release dog first.
Yeah, and we don't always have choices in this, but, the deeper foster bench that we have, the more choices, we have to put the right dog in the right home. So, we're all doing the best we can. And sometimes we don't have that information. Sometimes we don't know that they're, runners or
diggers
hate
or
babies or, whatever. Like, it just is what it is. So, you also need to look at your level of commitment to this endeavor.
Right.
Because we have everything from, full-blown 100% in, taking on litters of puppies, fosters, that's one end of the crazy spectrum. And then there's, the people that literally dip their toes into the foster world for an hour.
Yeah.
And
We
they're
have
like,
dogs that
this
are
isn't
there.
working.
Yeah.
Somebody come get this dog. And it's like, okay, you've now created a bigger problem
You're right.
than the one that we were all trying to solve.
Yeah.
So please have, some level of commitment
Yeah.
to your choice. Don't just say, oh, this is going to look great on my resume. And
Well, and I think the bigger issue is that it is a good way to find a dog that might be great for you forever, but don't come into fostering because you're looking for a dog,
right.
right? So if you know you're ready to add a dog to your family, but you want to test out dogs, okay, cool. But don't come into this just for the idea of that you're going to get first dibs on a dog, because you're going to scramble and you're going to take a dog before you're ready. You're going to make a choice that is
Rushed,
right? My ideal foster failure is someone who has fostered for us for a while and then comes across a dog where they're like, okay,
they have a connect. They feel a connection.
They feel a connection.
Yeah. They're not looking for it.
Right. You're not looking for it. That's where I'm getting there.
Yep.
So I think the best types of homes to foster dogs are those who are patient, those who have the ability to, and not always, but sometimes separate your home as needed. Like, do you have a small area? I sometimes just use my bathroom, or I have a small room in my basement where if I need to decompress a dog or separate a dog from my home or my family, I've got a little bit of space to do that.
Yeah. Laundry room, entryway.
Can be very small, but
spare bedroom.
Yeah.
Something that's safe, that they can be separated. And there's tools that you don't need but would be helpful if you don't have them and you need them. We have them.
Yeah.
Such as baby gates.
Yeah.
Wire crates.
Yep.
Wire kennels.
Yep.
What else? Tie outs if you
Yep.
don't have a fenced yard. Collars, harnesses,
Yep.
leashes. I mean, we have all of this.
And if we don't, we'll get it.
If we don't, we'll Amazon it to you. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
We want everybody to succeed. So, but it's not so much actually physically having the things, it's having the mentality.
Of that, I'm not expecting to go pick up this dog, most likely from one of our driveways.
Right.
And take it home and then throw it into our house, and then it's going to be sunshine and rainbows.
Yep.
It just won't.
And then next, 3 days later, somebody wonderful is going to come through the door and adopt this dog, and it's going to be happily ever after. It's not always like that.
No.
Sometimes you have the dog for a few weeks. Sometimes the dog has a skin issue that needs a bath every other day. Sometimes they turn out to have food aggression.
Yeah. So you have to feed separately in your house.
The
You
whole
have to
point of
adjust.
fostering is to learn about the dog, understand the dog, so that you can find the dog the home that it's going to thrive in, which may or may not be your home.
Right.
Most likely not.
Yeah.
And not because your home isn't right for it, but because that's not the purpose of fostering.
Right.
So you kind of got to
Roll with the
figure it
punches
out.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
you got to roll with it. And so if the dog, nips at your dog, or if the dog plays with your dog, or if the dog shies away from your dog, those are all things that you're learning about that dog. Like,
And then you adjust how you're reacting from there.
right. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this dog gets along well with other dogs. This dog would do great in a home with dogs bigger than it, smaller than it.
Right. All the
It's-
things.
It's just putting together a puzzle.
And overall, I think the biggest or the best attribute of a wonderful foster home is patience and willingness to adapt as needed, right? So, I mean, as an example, the dog that we ended up foster failing with, when we got her, I was like, shoot, this is going to be bad. She was growly. She was mean. So I thought. I had to leave her leash on her for 3 days. We sat down on the floor trying to coax her out of the kennel. But we gave her space. And how many times do we have to save this? We left her the
Leave 'em
hell
alone.
alone. We left her alone. And she came around to be the most affectionate, wonderful dog who got along with our whole household and is just wonderful. But if I had been a foster who in the first 2 days of watching this dog growl in its kennel and been like, nope, that's too much, I'm out, would she have had a chance after that? Like, so just giving the dogs a few days. Another podcast that we have done that I think is really important for new fosters and new adopters to listen to is that 3-3-3 rule. And it's going to be a lot of repeated stuff that we're talking about here, but just making sure that you're allowing yourself time to adapt to this new dog being in your home and allowing the dog time to adapt to being in some place that is so new.
Yeah, a foreign environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always tell people, like, when I'm just randomly talking to anybody about, oh, my dog.
Who will listen?
Yeah. I talk about fostering, and I'm not even going to say it because it just torques me off every time.
You will say it, though. You have to.
I'll adopt. I couldn't do it. I'll adopt everyone. Oh, my God.
Would you?
I just want to. I hate that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about fostering, too, though, is what better opportunity is there to experience all the different breeds, all the different kinds
so
of
awesome.
dogs, without having the lifelong commitment that pet ownership should be. That
Right.
we know full well. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't honor that, but
Yeah.
I always wanted or so I thought,
Yeah.
XYZ, or
Yeah.
a doodle for
Yeah.
crying out loud. No, found out
I don't.
that I don't like that. I don't like that.
But
dog.
I got to experience it. I got to understand the things that people like about
Exactly.
doodles, and the things that I don't like about doodles. You know,
I always thought, and the Chihuahuas and the Yorkies and the Cavaliers, and there's so many breeds out there to experience.
Yeah.
And you can be picky and choosy when you're fostering. That's
awesome.
There are I don't take big dogs.
Yeah.
I am not a big dog foster. I don't like big dogs.
Yeah.
Big dogs are not my thing. I have a German Shepherd. He's cool. That's it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like a 10 pounds or less kind of gal.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine.
Yep. And I love.
There are people that are big dog fosters.
There are. I'm just an every dog foster because I want to see every single breed
Yeah.
of dog
And
possible.
then there's
but-
non-discriminatory fosters. Like
but
Kara.
I will say, like, I'm a big bully breed fan, but not all are created equal. And so it's been fun for me as a challenge because I am a seasoned foster who has had hundreds of dogs fostered through my home over the years. I can tell pretty quickly whether or not a dog is going to have the characteristics that I love about that breed, right? So, and then some just don't, right? I'm a huge Rottweiler fan, so I've fostered now just only 2 Rottweilers in this whole time. One of which was my ideal. I love that dog. I would have kept it, and I should have probably kept it because it was old anyway, but it was one of my very first fosters, and so I let it go so that I could keep fostering. And then the most recent one, also loved that dog, but it was not meant for my household because of his reaction to other animals and things like that.
There you go.
And so I was able to foster, make space for that dog that was in a place that was safe for him and safe for his environment, work on his training, separate from my life and my dogs. I don't have a huge house, and I was still able to do that, and it's doable.
Right.
But I still got to experience that breed I love, even if that particular personality from that one dog was not it for me.
Which I think is important for listeners, even our listeners who aren't looking to foster, they're just listening because they enjoy this podcast so much, is you might have this breed in mind that you think that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want a purebred black lab or
Yeah.
a purebred Rottweiler or whatever it is. Not all Rottweilers are the same.
Right.
So when you're looking to adopt, that's why the meet and greets are so important.
And that's why foster care works, because we can tell you exactly the personality of that Rottweiler.
Right. So if you put those 2 Rottweilers in a shelter situation, they're not going to act. They're going to act differently than they would in a foster situation.
Yeah, you won't see their personalities.
You won't see their personalities. And B, you're not going to have somebody that has lived with this dog for, a couple weeks, on average 20 days
Yeah.
with this dog to give you all the insight like, oh, he doesn't like it when you touch his paws.
Yeah.
Or he really enjoys this treat. Or
Yeah.
he is treat driven.
Yeah.
Or he knows these commands. Like
Yeah.
when you get a shelter dog, it's kind of blank slate.
Yeah. I mean, we can tell you some really weird stuff. Speaking of those Rottweilers, the
Like,
first
when does it normally go to the bathroom?
well, my very first Rottweiler Foster, I was getting ready for something and I had some old Rubbermaid totes, like the big ones that you put your Christmas decorations in. Turns out that was his favorite toy of all time. He bit around the edges of it. He would take it in the yard. He would throw it across the yard. He'd go running after it. It was completely, he was 100 and something pound Rottweiler, but it was hilarious. But you're not going to know, like, to make him happy and comfortable for the first few weeks, maybe I should get out a Rubbermaid tote. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Like, there's just some weird stuff that we get to learn and share, and idiosyncrasies that, again, within that 333 rule, save you some time during that decompression and getting them to be a real dog.
So that's your job as a foster, is to learn about the dog, to get it in the right home, and to pass on that information.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to children, I don't have any, so I'm not going to say a whole lot about it. However, prepare your children for this.
Yeah.
Okay. Explain to them the goal. The end goal is to find Fluffy his best home, where he's going to have the happiest life and whatever.
You have a job to teach him how to love another little boy or another little girl.
Be a responsible adult. Be a responsible parent, and sit down and have a conversation with your children about this and explain to them
what's going to happen.
What's going to happen, how it's going to happen. These are the steps.
And get them to
is how it's
agree.
going
They're
to
like,
work.
yes, I want to help do this. I'm not doing this because we're going to have another dog.
Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And if it should happen that you foster fail, then that's just a bonus.
Right.
But the expectation needs to be set up front. This is not our dog. We are just watching this dog.
Yeah.
We are essentially dog sitting this dog.
Yes. One of our recent featured fosters is Stacy and Caleb, and they have a little boy, Calvin. Calvin is tiny. He's just a small little human, but he is learning he's so little, and but also has a better vocabulary than I do. So, but he already understands when mom and dad say, "Hey, this is a new dog. He's scared. We keep our hands to ourselves."
Right.
As a toddler, he understands how to act around a dog. If your kid does not yet know how to act around a dog, you're probably not ready to foster or bring in a rescue dog into your home. You're just
any dog, really.
Any dog, honestly, because you can ruin as Tracy and Johnny said the other day, a shiny new puppy. You can ruin a shiny new puppy with a grubby-handed little toddler. You know,
no shit. And that's really important too for the life of the dog, because if you've got a toddler that doesn't
hitting and pulling
and doesn't listen when you say don't do that, and then it does that, and the dog reacts and bites the child, that's on that dog's record forever. It's going to follow it,
if it even has a forever at that point.
Exactly. You know, if it is so bad that it has to go to a hospital, ER situation,
you're done.
You're done. And so you've just killed that dog because your toddler didn't listen to you when you said don't pull.
And you didn't appropriately separate the dog from the child who couldn't keep their hands to themselves. So that, I mean, I do think though, and we've talked about this before, I have just one child who, much like her mother, is perfect in every way. And
I didn't know you were her adoptive mother.
I said adopted mother?
No, I'm saying...
Oh, her other mother? Oh, you hoe bag. Oh, my lands. She got me. That was like a dirty dog joke. Snuck right in. That's funny.
Oh, shit.
I might be, though, because she really is perfect, and I was not.
She's fantastic.
But I put a lot on that. We have been fostering dogs since she was... 5 years old, I think. And, we had dogs, so she had some of that dog sense. But now she works, she's worked full-time this whole summer as a doggy daycare attendant. So she understands all the things. She breaks up dog fights. She helps other people's dogs to, have a good time with a whole other group. She understands animals on a whole different level than most adult humans do. But her ability to, understand what is right and wrong and what should happen with a dog, and also to be just a good human in the world, I think has a huge part to do with that she was raised in this world.
Kids raised and rescue.
Kids raised and rescue.
They're excellent. We say that a lot.
Yeah, we do. And you can tell. Once, Marissa's kids are little, they're getting raised that way, and they're going to be great.
It instills compassion, empathy,
responsibility.
responsibility.
You feed the dog, you clean up after the dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Intuitiveness. I mean,
So we are in no
bit.
way saying that if you have kids, you should not foster, but that you need
If
to
you have
prepare.
kids that don't listen.
Yeah, you need to prepare your household appropriately if you're going to do that, for sure. But honestly, it's just making sure that you're set up to not overwhelm a dog by just throwing it into the mix, because that's where people are going to fail as far as feeling like it's not a good fit, right?
Yep.
Because you're not giving enough time or space.
Additionally, take your dogs into consideration, what we call resident dogs. If you have a resident dog who is 17 years old and in liver failure, probably not a good time to bring in, a 1-year-old golden retriever, okay?
Probably not.
Probably not. Outside of that, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
It's just a matter, again, of how you're introducing the dog to the other dog.
Right.
If you need to separate, the ability to kind of read the room and say,
Yes. Get the cues.
let's maybe just take a timeout for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's one of you go outside and one of you stay in here. Or at feeding time, okay, let's not feed them right next to each other. You eat here and you eat here. And I keep kind of bringing up these worst case scenarios. It's not like that. I guess I just say them because we encounter them as reasons to, that a foster
might not
has
continue.
an issue and it might not continue fostering because of this one time that they had this one
But
incident.
honestly, thinking about it, we have very few times where people stop fostering because they've had a poor experience. Usually, the experience is you get it.
Yeah.
You get a dog, you see it go from 0 to hero, you see it go into its new home, and then you're like, oh boy, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
And I will say that we have just this wonderful group of people who have listened and who understand the mission and that continue to do it. And then we talked about in our last podcast, like we had all these dogs come in and we had nothing to do with any of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because our fosters are starting to understand and then get hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very fun to be able to experience all of these different dogs and personalities in short bursts.
Well, and we make it fun too.
It is fun.
We've talked about, I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the podcast, but I know we've talked about this in group settings where our goal in starting this rescue was to build a network of people.
A community.
And so, like, I'm not fostering right now. I haven't fostered. Who was the last one I fostered?
That little one that was supposed to go and didn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The little chug.
Dorito.
Yeah.
Okay, so that wasn't that long ago, but
But not a lot.
I told you the summer is my summer. I'm coming. I'm going. I'm not here for it. So, but our job, Kara and I's job, is to make this group make it easy for you guys and make it fun. And so that's why we spend time doing this podcast. That's why we spend time putting together the manual and the sheet, what do you call that? Flow chart sheet. How to do this, how to do that, and the group chats and the Mutt Mafia page and the whatever. We're here for all of it. And then we're having fun doing it.
We're having a blast, and we're here to empower those who understand why we're dedicating so much of our life to this, and who also want to dedicate a portion of their life.
And I think we're trying to change kind of the tone of rescue, because all the time, even today, I was just thinking this. There was yet another rescue post, another rescue that it's just a total freaking Debbie Downer post on Facebook.
Like,
and it's just
everybody's dying.
Everybody's broke. Everybody's dying. Everybody's full. There's no resources. They don't have any food. Their food pantry's empty.
All the things.
Which are true. It's all true.
Yes.
But it's how you look at it and how you address it and how you the people around you, your community, your mafia, that we're not doing this alone.
No.
We've got backup, and our backup's got backup.
Yes. Well, and to be honest, we're not having any of those issues. And
Well.
and luckily, knock on wood, and we will someday. We'll run into a moment where it's like we're at our wits' end and we don't know what to do next. But the tone in which we share our mission with the people who are supporting us in it is never going to change.
Yeah.
We're always going to remain positive, and if we're not able to do that, then we're done.
And we absolutely never and will never engage in drama.
No.
Ever.
No.
Period. Full stop.
No.
If that ever happens, send out the police because Kara and I have been kidnapped.
Yeah, it's not us. If you see somebody trying to cause any sort of drama as it relates to rescue, it's not going to be us because
We're not doing it.
well, and we've just found that taking the higher ground has saved a lot more lives.
Anytime you see drama, it never has to do with the dogs.
No. And that's our number one
It always
thing that
has
we
to do
always
with the
say.
human aspect of the dogs.
Yeah.
That either somebody did something wrong or somebody got told something wrong or there was a miscommunication, whatever it is.
Right.
It's always the human side of it. It's never
Yeah.
about the dog. So if we keep our focus, our number one priority on the dogs, which
On the
it
dogs.
always has,
Always.
always will be,
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
then you're
And
fine.
not to say that we won't mess up. Like we've made
Oh, God.
we've
We
made
mess
all
up all the
we've made all
time.
kinds of mistakes. We own it. We smile and we move on. Like you just have to have fun. And so, that's why it's such a blast to be a part of this mission. And I think you can talk with any of the people who have been involved with our rescue thus far, and I think will probably be with us for many years to come, to understand that while we're kind of laying out these worst case scenarios and how to set up your home for if you get a dog that is fearful and does have aggressive tendencies, all those types of things, that's all very rare. For the most part, it's easy, it's fun, it's well organized, and you're saving lives while also getting to enjoy a creature that we all love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a limited amount of average, like 20 days.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's a better solution for a lot of people than to actually adopt a dog.
Well, and
because people are busy and they're traveling and they've got jobs that are seasonal and this and that and the other. All of the reasons that people surrender dogs
yeah.
are all of the reasons they would be great candidates to foster.
They could be, yeah. I mean, we have a lot of teachers who
Yeah.
in the summertime are like, hey, I got all kinds of time. Or, parents whose kids are only in, a summer sport. And they're like, you know what, in the winter, we're at home. We have a lot of time. The kids are bored. They love dogs. Let's foster
Yeah.
some dogs during the winter. Great. Pick a season of your life. You do not have to go balls to the wall.
Right.
Like,
We got a few of those too, though.
yeah, I mean,
And that's cool too.
it is cool. I've actually I've always been kind of a balls to the wall type
No
of person.
shit.
But I have started to allow myself to say, I'm going to keep my spot open for the ones who actually need me, and then allow the mafia to handle the fun little fluffies. Because for
Yeah.
me, that challenge is long gone, right? Like the cute little ins and outs. Go ahead. I can put
Good.
some of this experience elsewhere.
Which is actually a great mentality for all fosters when you're talking about foster failing.
Yeah.
Specifically, but go ahead and finish
Yeah.
your thought.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think people saying, "Oh, I think this is going to be a foster fail." Well,
We'll always challenge you first before we say yes.
yes,
First of all,
we will, and
it's not
not because we're being an asshole. We're just
making sure you're sure.
making you think about this all the way through. Because I'll be really honest with you. George, I foster failed with George, and that's when we were fostering with Fluffy Butts.
And he was so cute.
He was my second foster. My first one,
And you hadn't experienced a lot yet.
right?
No.
I was
Yeah.
very new to the whole situation, and I thought, oh, here's this he was a mill dog,
Yeah.
totally broken, totally shut down. I mean, he was till the day he died. He was just a little shut down he never once gave me a kiss. Asshole. But anyway, I thought I was being a savior, savior complex. Like, oh, I'm just going to save this. He needs me. He needs me. Where else is he going to go?
No one will want
He
him.
could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
He could have gone anywhere
He
and
was
been
an
fine.
adorable little lump with those little eyebrows.
Now, do I regret it? Absolutely not.
But it gives you some perspective.
But I'm
of
just
like what
saying, if you think
every dog needs you.
every dog needs you, get over yourself.
Yep. No. I
I had to
have.
tell myself that, so that's why I have every right to
Oh,
say it to all of you. Get over yourself. We have a job to do here,
Yeah.
and getting wrapped up in a dog that you think needs you, that ain't it.
no. Now, that's to say, you'll know.
You will know.
If it's a heart dog.
Yeah.
You'll know if it's a dog that fits best into your pack and is what your pack needed or what have you.
And there are some dogs that you just want.
Yeah.
And that's
that's
it. That's
okay.
fine too. Like
That's-
Reese.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted that dog.
Yeah.
I wanted her.
And-
Fell in love. We fell in love in like the first 10 seconds. I'm not even kidding you. I love that dog.
Yeah. Yeah. That was meant to be though. That was how we spoke
She's
that
my
into
baby.
it.
She's my world.
Yeah. Yeah. But you had spoken that into existence. It was what you were
did.
looking for.
It was a little earlier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
but It happened.
Um,
I'm going to bring her next time. We're
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, bring her along.
Racy girl.
Racy girl. She's so sweet. But yeah, I mean, I have a type of dog, and so for me, I had a moment of like, every pug that enters my home shall be mine, and I won't,
Yeah.
I won't lie that I now have 3 pugs who, light of my life, absolutely love them. But then I had 2 more come in, and had they come earlier, I may have kept them because I just really love the breed. But I'm so thankful that I didn't, and they landed where they went,
Yeah.
and my household is better for it. But you begin to learn that even though you might like a certain type of dog or the idea of a dog, the moment that you meet the people that dog was actually meant to be with,
Yeah. It's over.
it don't matter anymore.
Right.
It does not matter that, you really love Cavaliers. You're not going to find
Well,
another one that's like,
Lucy.
yeah. There was
Lucy
another
was-
one I thought you would fail with Lucy. Like, she was so cute. But now Lucy, who is another Cavalier, who I thought for sure
She just sent me a update yesterday. She sends me pictures all the time.
she landed in the very best home. This dog is living life, and she loves it. Could Holly have kept her and given her a wonderful
Oh,
life?
100%.
Yeah. But being able to watch her go,
Look at this.
oh, for Lord's
She just
sake.
sent this to me yesterday, and she sends this to me all the time.
She
Look
was
at her
getting all kinds of updates.
sleep, and
I'm going to text those pug people that took those other pugs and tell them I need more updates. What the hey?
so we both have Cavaliers, so we both share back and
Yeah,
forth all of our pictures.
cute.
But this dog hit the freaking jackpot. Now she would have hit the jackpot with me too.
No, yeah, but it wasn't meant to be. Yeah.
You gotta let him go.
You got to let them go. So, and I say
And
that
here's
I've
the other
failed
thing.
plenty, but
Why is that such a bad thing? Every time I'm talking to people about this, I'm like, oh,
how
I
could
would
you?
foster fail.
It's like,
And
yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
right. I have no heart and I hate everything. That's why I allow dogs to get adopted out so that more can be saved.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Well, that too, but like, so what if you fail?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
And then what?
I hate the word fail too. Like,
Yeah, we need to come up with a better, like a mafia-approved word.
yeah, we need a better phrase for foster fail. And I also, I feel like when you have that in your mind that that's a possibility, then you don't give yourself or like your psyche enough time to like let that dog go first. Like, for instance, when we ended up keeping Tot, like, my husband was madly in love with
God.
this dog, right?
Right.
And I said, well, I got the greatest app ever. They came, they were deciding, and in the meantime, he had like an existential crisis. He was like, oh my God, what have I done? I'm like, I'm going to let this dog go. And it ended up that they passed on her, and then that's when he knew that that was the one. And sometimes that's it.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
You'll know
When you get the application.
when you get the application.
And you're like, shoot, I can't even open this.
Right.
Anyhow, the foster failure as a whole, even though we've had several recently, it is a really small percentage of dogs that get adopted from us are within that foster
Yeah.
community.
Oh, less than 10%.
Small, yeah,
Less than that.
yeah.
Probably less than 5%.
The only reason I agreed to the 10% when we first said is because this has been such a crazy week of failures,
Right.
But usually, no, it's not the case. That being said, I just think that we really would love to build.
You know what?
What?
Our fosters are starting to foster the fosters.
Yeah.
They need to start recruiting fosters.
Yes. For every foster you recruit, I'll give you a Werther's Original Candy, warm from my pocket.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. You sit on the back of the bus. You want a gummy bear? It's warm.
Warm Werther's. What is it? What is? Oh wow!
Or a prize
just,
that
like-
you would like.
That just unlocked like a core memory. You know? Do you remember those little strawberries with the?
Oh, yeah, with the green
Centers.
top on the wrapper.
Yeah. That made me think of that.
Yeah, they're better warm.
Oh gosh. Okay, well there were other things we were going to talk about, but basically just read the manual. What is it? Like not even.
It's like 3 or 4 pages.
It's not even that long.
It's short.
I kept telling when Bree the groomer was she took that little one that came in that group. She had it for a hot minute, and she kept asking all these questions. I'm like, read the manual, and she'd ask another question. Bree, read the manual. Pretty soon, somebody read the manual. Have you read the manual?
And then she said,
then I just started forwarding the link. She'd ask a question, I'd send the link.
And then she replied back with her IEP and shouted, "I can't read."
She was a good sport.
Oh,
That was
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah, very
Sorry,
funny.
Bree. I bet she still hasn't read the freaking manual.
I promise she hasn't read the manual because she pawned off her last foster on a new foster. So
Oh man,
hilarious.
What a
But as
trip.
you can tell, the real reason for doing this, apart from saving all kinds of lives, is that we have all kinds of fun. Like the number of times a day I just like kind of loon out at what is
Okay.
happening.
this
is
bat
high.
phone thing though.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's a good time to tell a story. It's just a nice like
Oh my god.
recap to the weird crap that happens in rescue that you're missing out on if
Okay.
you're not involved.
So Kara got this great idea to get what is it? Google phone number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can share it.
Whatever.
Basically,
So
so I
before
can stop
this-
answering the phone.
Yeah. Before this, Kara put her phone number all over everything, and at first I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, great."
Yeah, go ahead.
And then I was like, "Great, I'm glad your number's out there."
And then I was like, wait a minute. I've made a huge mistake.
So then she gets this Google number. So now my phone rings all the freaking time, and
I no longer answer. First
and
of all.
I wear AirPods like 23 hours a day, and it always breaks in at the exact wrong time, and I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, so Kara says, now don't answer it. And I'm like, why are we doing this then?
Because I put a message
No,
on
I
there
know.
that
I
said,
know.
if it's an emergency, then leave a message. Otherwise, calm down, Charlie Brown, and quit calling us.
So the first couple, I answered them.
I said, you don't want this. You aren't ready for this jelly.
Anyway, so I get this call. You were in Minnesota or something. You'd gone on vacation
Yeah.
or something. A real vacation. Not this fictional one that we're on right now. And so I answered it, and this lady goes, is this Oh My Dog? And I said, yes, because I'd answered, hi, this is Holly with Oh My Dog. How can I help you? You know? And she says, well, I have what was it? Did I tell you what it was? It doesn't matter. I have this dog, and my son is watching her, and she keeps peeing everywhere. And I need someone to come take the dog. And I said, oh, gosh, I'm sorry. You know, and now we're, like, pushing back on surrenders. Like, you don't just get to call us up, and we don't just run to your rescue and take your dog.
we need
like,
some more
we need some
information.
information. Have you actually tried anything?
Yeah.
And I said, well, you know, how old is she? Like, does she have a UTI? Has she seen a vet? Like, what's the problem? She goes, well, my son is just so busy. And so it's one of those. My son is just so busy. And he messaged me and said that he just can't do this anymore, that she just keeps peeing all over the house. And I said, okay. Has she seen a vet? And she goes, no, I called my vet and they can't get me in until next week. And this was like Saturday at 10 a.m.
Right.
You know?
So, okay.
So most vets close at noon on Saturdays.
Right.
If they're open on Saturdays at all.
Right.
And I said, okay, do you want me to call them? Do you want me to see if you can get the dog to one of our vets? Like, where are you at? Where are you located? Trying to troubleshoot here. because I don't think this is a situation where, like, you want to surrender your dog.
You're right.
Like, it was a very odd vibe. And so I said, okay. And she didn't want to do any of that. And I said, okay, well, so are you wanting to surrender the dog? And she said, no, I just want you to come get it. And I'm like, ma'am, what would you like me to do with the dog? I said, do you need help getting it to the vet? Like, I thought.
Yeah, like there was something missing.
There was obviously a certain level of dementia going on here. And it wasn't on me this time. Okay. And she goes, no, I just want you to come get the dog. And she was starting to get irritated with me. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you not confronts? Like, get out of here. I said, no, ma'am, I'm not just going to come take, I said, I'll take your dog if you want to surrender it, I guess, and we'll take it to the vet. And she goes, no, I just want you to come take it until I can get it to the vet next week. I'm like, so you want, you need a boarding that you want, we don't do boarding here. We don't board dogs. Well, I just can't believe that you're just not going to help me with this. And I'm like,
what?
Get out of here. I said, well, why do you have your son's phone number? Maybe I could give him a call and see if I can help out here.
What is actually going on?
And she's like, well, his number is on my phone and I'm on the phone. So how am I going to get you his number? This is going
like a legitimate
and
thing.
on and on. I said, and so then she calls she yells out across the back 40 to her grandchildren, what's your father's phone number? And they're like on the trampoline and they come running in and you can hear them all scream. I'm not even lying to you.
No, because I used to take all of these calls, so I'm aware.
I said, I tell you what, why don't we hang up? You can get your son's phone number and call me back. She calls me right back, gives me your number.
She acted like that was a huge revelation. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
So she calls me back with his phone number. I take it down. I give him a call. Of course, he doesn't answer. He calls me back, and I said, hi, this is Holly with Oh My Dog Rescue. I just got off the phone with your mother. It sounds like you're having trouble with whatever the dog's name was. What? What did you say? I said, hi. My name is Holly with, I just repeated the whole thing. Like, I thought I said that pretty clearly, although now I feel like I have a speech impediment, so maybe not.
Yeah, we don't know.
And he goes, no, the dog's fine. Don't listen to her. She's just old. And I'm like, okay, well,
Cool.
This has been fun.
Neat.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Click. I haven't answered that phone since. No, I'm kidding. I actually do answer it all the time.
You do answer it more than I thought you should, but I told you, I was like, I made a message on there. So here's the deal. Holly and I are both very busy, and so we let that go to voicemail so that if there is an urgent voicemail, we can see it right away.
It's urgent because it does the
talk to text or whatever. Yeah, voice
memo,
text. Yeah,
voice texting.
So we can see it right away. But we direct
as they're leaving it.
Yeah, you can see it happening.
Cool.
It is pretty cool. And then we direct people to our website and our email because we check that really quickly. But I can be like
in a meeting
or living my life and answer you, but I might not be able to talk with you on the phone
or want to.
Or want to. I don't. Unless you're just a nice person who wants to give me $5,000.
Yeah, we'll take that call. We'll probably give you a call back on that one.
Yeah, we may return that call. But yeah, I mean, we get the craziest things. Not as funny as, I'm on the phone with you. How am I supposed to get you his number?
Oh,
but,
man.
I had a lady call me and she said, I got your number from the vet's office and I need help with my dog. I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on? She said, I can tell that my dog wants to kill me. And I was like, oh gosh, has it bitten you before or what's going on? I can tell it wants to bite me. It's gonna bite me. And this is awful, but this is exactly what she said. And I'm going to use a different word for what she said. But she was like, my son told me if the dog does attack me, the only way to get it off of me is to stick my finger up its butthole. But she didn't say butthole. And she said, and I'm not sticking my finger up my dog's butthole, so I need you to come get it. This is a real conversation that I had. So then...
See, I'm starting to find this having entertainment value, honestly.
So then I called the vet, and I was like, hey, guys, what's going on? And they're like, oh, God. And I said, yeah, I just got off the phone with what was
Could you maybe have given me a heads up on that one?
with what was maybe the stupidest and weirdest and most insane phone call I have ever taken. And they were like, did she mention the butthole thing? And I was like, yeah, she did.
That poor dog. You show up at her driveway. There's
She's in rubber
tubs
gloves.
of Vaseline everywhere. Like, what the fuck?
Just preparing for when her dog tries to kill her. I said, have your dog ever...
She's just always gloved up.
She's like, I can tell by the way he's looking at me. He wants to get me. And I was like, I feel like you need help outside of this 1-800 number. We are not the right one. Let me get you the number for NAMI. I mean, my God.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, that really digressed into something super weird, but that was those were two very real phone
Foster for us.
We don't make you answer the phone. That is not yet a volunteer opportunity,
Although
but it could be.
We are looking for an intern.
Or a receptionist.
No, that's a real call out. I'm being serious there.
Yeah, if you
We
are
would love to have an
interested in animal welfare and you would like to be an intern, help with social media, posting dogs, so that kind of stuff, we're really
we're considering it.
in pretty big need of some administrative help from somebody who can just dedicate a few hours a week to doing that for us. That'd be really great. But anyway, I won't make you talk to the butthole dog lady. In fact, I have saved her in the phone as such. So. We'll know.
Well, this has been real and it's been fun, but no, it has been real fun.
It's been real fun for us. Now, if you're still listening at the end and you joined this podcast because we sent you the link because you were interested in fostering and you're still here, then this might be the right place for you.
You are our people.
You are in the right place.
Yeah, I can always tell right away if a foster is going to fit in with us or not in the group chat. Like if you say something and if you leave a joke wide open, you know,
and nobody takes it.
Nobody picks it up. I'm like, shoot.
I know. Like our group chat we had today, we had that brand new litter of puppies, and the foster said, I was like, well, is the puppy latching? Because we've got a smaller one. And she was like, yeah, she got some milk from me, meaning that she gave her
like
puppy replacement bottle. But I let it go. I was like, I'm going to give this one to Holly, and just let her go ahead and wrap up that joke. Next level of fostering happening there.
Oh, man.
So, anyway, but our whole group of folks that are helping us with this are just here to have fun, here to save dogs, and here to figure it out.
See ya.
Bye. We'll figure it out.
Oh my dog.
What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel, what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Say what we got, it's hot to spot, give up the drop, see what we got, do what, we got to go, the body flow, too hot to show, the front row, we won't stop.